When it comes to my personal workouts as well as working with clients, targeting the triceps is definitely a preference. People are often surprised as to how crucial the strengthening and prioritization of the triceps is to their goals. For example, if you happen to have shoulder discomfort on a regular basis, you'd be surprised how much of that shoulder discomfort can be alleviated simply by strengthening the triceps. If your elbows ache all the time, triceps. If you want to get a super heavy bench press like 225 pounds or 315 pounds, you might want to work your triceps. And even if you only want to turn heads at the beach because you've got a 6 set of pipes hanging down to your sides, you're still going to want to prioritize your tricep development. So in today's video, I'm going to do a surface overview of 6 exercises that you're probably not doing for the triceps. You may have seen them here and there, but people generally don't do these. They're variations that are not commonly executed by most. Now I'm curious, I could be wrong, so drop a comment and let me know if any of these exercises are exercises that you've done yourself personally within the last 3 months, or if you do them regularly in your own programming. One of the first exercises is an incline spoon press. Now, you've probably done or seen people do spoon presses on a flat bench, but by simply changing up the angle of the press, there's an entirely different feel to the execution. So we're gonna hold the dumbbells side by side and they'll remain touching throughout the entire set. Now, ideally, if you have access to hex dumbbells, they're a little easier. Round head dumbbells can pinch your fingers because they do tend to slip a little more. So from this position, we're going to press up to a full extension in the elbows over the chest, back down, making contact with the chest with both ends of the dumbbell, and then back up to a full extension. Next on the list is a dumbbell tape press. Now this is one I don't see people do often at all, but it's so effective at targeting the triceps. So you're going to start like a dumbbell chest press with the arms fully extended and the dumbbells over the chest, but instead of just lowering the dumbbells down, you're actually going to bend at the elbows and bring the dumbbells in. Make contact with the chest, and then you're going to extend back up, just like so. Elbows are going out to the sides, dumbbells are coming in towards each other, and then you're extending back up over the chest. Now we want to keep the dumbbells as close together as possible throughout each repetition, and you want to ensure that you're not allowing your elbows to flare back towards your head. You do want them to be on a very slight angle towards your legs. That way we don't put too much stress on the shoulders. These are deceptively challenging, so ensure you use a load that is not too heavy to start with, especially if you've never done these before. And if you do have any relative weakness through the triceps and further the elbows, you're likely going to feel them light up on these ones. So those who know me well know that I have a massive personal bias towards skull crushers. I'm a big fan of skull crushers, and I often treat them just like any max effort lift. I even run doubles, triples, sets of 4 and 5 with skull crushers because I think there's very few things that look cooler than throwing a lot of plates on a skull crusher. So, biases aside, the drag skull crusher is extremely effective at strengthening and developing your triceps. Now, this is a little bit more of an advanced technique, but it's also good for building confidence with the skull crusher. So, this variation is going to start at the top, and just like a traditional skull crusher, you're going to lower down right towards the forehead, and then as soon as you get to that level, you're simply going to bring the bar back to the chest and press up to a full extension. So this is good if you're overloading the skull crusher or if you're working with tempos, dragging forward and up. So say for example you're doing a 5-second controlled negative and you're not sure what load you should be working with, you're going to control down, 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 and then right about contact with the nose or the forehead, depending on how you're executing the skull crusher. You'll simply drag the bar back down towards the chest and sternum area and press up to a full extension. This, interestingly enough, is also a great way to bail if you happen to be using a weight that's too heavy. On traditional skull crushers, knowing how to do drag skull crushers comes in extremely useful. So next on the list is single arm band tricep extension. So we're going to anchor a light to moderate tension band off of some sort of stable upright. It doesn't have to be a squat rack, anything you can anchor this off of that you aren't going to pull over. Now, feet are going to be about shoulder width apart or in a split stance, that's preference. And then what you're going to do is bring your chest down to just about parallel with the floor, and you want a slight bend in your legs. Now, to position the band properly, depending on the amount of tension you already have, once your elbow is at approximately 90 degrees or just slightly before that, there should already be a little bit of tension in the band. And then from here, you're going to extend at the elbow, full extension in the arm, come right back past 90 degrees and back to a full extension. Now, the nice thing about band tricep kickbacks is you can execute these quite a few ways, but two ways that are extremely effective. You can either do a predetermined set of repetitions, say 15 to 20 reps, or these are excellent for AMRAP sets. So you can set the timer for 45 seconds and do as many reps as possible on each arm, assuming you can maintain quality form throughout. Both ways are extremely challenging on the triceps. Now, exercise number 5 on the list is a 2-arm tricep kickback with a twist, literally. Now, this is one of my favorites to put at the latter end of an upper body training session as a burnout for the back of the arms, only because with heavier dumbbells, the fatigue that sets in makes it very challenging to maintain quality form. So you end up using lighter dumbbells to optimize the set, and as a byproduct, you end up in a higher rep range. So this tends to go at the very latter end for burnout style work. It gets a lot of blood flow to the back of the arm. So feet are going to be about shoulder width apart, slight bend in the knees. You're going to drive the hips back, lower the chest down. Now we want to make sure the elbows are hugged tight to the sides, and from here you're going to do kind of like a partial curl, allow for a little bit of momentum here, and you're going to kick back both arms, but you're going to turn the dumbbells up to the ceiling so that your palms are pointing up towards the ceiling or the sky if you're training outside. So as you can see, there's literally a slight twist at the very end, and that slight twist builds the intensity in this exercise to a whole different degree than you would otherwise feel if you went with just a traditional dumbbell kickback. Number 6 on the list, last but not least as they say, is a tricep press down variation done with suspension straps. And this one is extremely deceptive. It requires a lot of upper body strength to be able to execute, and it feels a little bit awkward until you kind of get the swing of things, because it's almost feeling as if you're doing the movement backwards to how you might on a cable press down variation. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to assume a hybrid starting position that looks kind of like a suspension strap row or the setup for a suspension strap reverse curl. And what you're going to do is you're going to actually press your palms down towards the floor and fully extend at the elbow, controlling back and then pressing down. Now with these, you want to keep your elbows hugged tight to your sides as well as your entire upper limb. And you want to try and ensure that the majority of the movement comes from the bending and extending of the elbows to keep maximal tension on the back of the arms. Now, I usually program these for AMRAP sets, as many reps as possible in the predetermined amount of time. And don't be upset if you're like me and you usually only get 2 or 3. These, as I said, are deceptively challenging, but very effective at targeting the triceps. If you found this video informative, make sure you like the video, share the video, and subscribe for further content. And as well, don't forget to comment if any of those 6 variations are variations that you incorporate regularly into your own programming already.